What you have just seen there are the latest videos from New China Television, courtesy of the Three Gorges Dam Corporation. I don't know exactly when the actual video was taken, but you can see something very interesting a little bit later in the show. And also, what are these yellow blobs that you can see in the picture here? These yellow, it looks like generators there. Now, it looks like the Three Gorges Dam, because of its very low levels, is getting a little bit of a spring clean. Not only the cleaning of its dam itself, because again the low water levels, but also the garbage around. And you can see again, this is state media pictures for you, showing the garbage vessels or barges actually cleaning up the system. Let's have a look at the 6 mega dams on the Yangtze River right now. Now, they all look very impressive. Again, I don't know when the footage was taken. I can guess this year, yep. But none of them have been operating to produce a lot of electricity, or very little electricity, because of the low water levels, because of the drought. When there is rain and when they do work with Mother Nature, then they can produce a bucket load, but at the moment I would say is zilch. And you may notice the other thing, which you may think of the Chinese TV a little bit sloppy in trying to do proper propaganda with this, is that they're showing low water levels. If you were going to do propaganda, surely you were going to have all the sluice gates open and looking spectacular rather than a high-speed drone. But we can get footage and insight too of these 6 mega dams along the Yangtze River in China. Let's take a break.
2022, I'm in Shanghai, obviously, and I've seen some rumors online that there's people dying everywhere and that the fever...
Now, if you have been following the news from China, what's happening recently, in November, they had the white paper movement saying we don't want to have the tests, we don't want the PCR test, we want to have freedom related to that. And not because of that, but the surges related to fevers and fevers and a mild COVID, which many people around the world has had. My sister has it, 2 or 3 friends in China had it. Even last week I was speaking to a guy and his roommate seemed to have a very high temperature. What happens in China is very different to what you would happen, let's say, in America or the UK. If you had a fever and you felt really poorly, you would book an appointment to go and see your doctor, not in the hospital, at the local clinic, whatever. There, he would give you a prescription, you would go to the drugstore or the pharmacy and pick up the medicine. In China, it's different. If you do have a fever, then you go basically to the hospital and they put you on a drip. We've seen the kind of clips on Twitter like that before. But there is one guy called Andy in Shanghai trying to debunk this kind of theory. So let's have a listen to this Muppet who works for Chinese state media, going around Shanghai, the quietest areas that he could find, and saying there's no problem.
All overflowing, so what I'm going to do is go to check it out for myself and bring you guys along. Let's see. Hey you guys, it is the 20th of December here in Shanghai. I am at a fever clinic. If you can see here, it says 发热门诊 fever clinic. As you can see, there's hardly anyone waiting, maybe about 10 people. I asked one guy how long he's been waiting for. Sorry, he said he's been waiting about 30 minutes. And he doesn't even have a fever. The only reason he's coming down here is to get a COVID test, because he has a red code for some reason. So you can't go to a normal place for a test if you have a red code. You have to come to the fever clinic. So a lot of these people don't even have fevers, hardly anyone waiting, and not a long queue at all. Okay, next place. Okay, you guys, I'm at a little community fever clinic now. As you can see, nobody lining up. There is an old guy sitting inside who's a bit uncomfortable. I think he's got a fever at the moment, but yeah, second place.
Now, let's take a look at the real China, and you can see the first picture here are people queuing up to go to a cemetery or a crematorium in China. There are reports that these operations now are working 24 hours a day. Workers are working 20-hour days in order to cope with the demand. And if you do go inside a fever clinic, a busy fever clinic, you can see it's like quite busy indeed. So you can see how the Chinese propaganda machine works, getting a Western shield to come along and say everything is fine, trying to hide from the reality. When will China actually learn this? That just give us the truth, it's okay. Yeah? When a bad thing happens in the United Kingdom, the news reports it. It's as simple as that. But in China, they sort of hide it up and don't report it, and it gets leaked onto social media systems like Twitter, so people like me can actually report the truth to you. But at the same time, you do have to take care when gathering the information related to a channel like this. Here is a video that you can see now while I'm talking. And first of all, they say this is outside a museum in some city in China. But have a look, and then you'll realize that it's not. I know what you're saying, and you would pick up there's some English signs there, and you would say this is possibly in the Western world, maybe like San Francisco, I don't know. And people on Twitter do porcupines, but they do it a little bit in a sloppy way. Porcupines is English slang for some lies. So do be careful when you are, and if you do want to trust, well, let me give you some links for what's happening in China. You can go to China in Focus, you can go to China Uncensored, you can go to Laowai 86, you can go to Serpent ZA, you can go to Free China. There's plenty of websites. You can go to the, did I say Laowai 86? There's 5 or 6 channels that you can really trust, and I'll put all the links in them. I'll give them a mention on this channel in the description below. That's it for me. Have a excellent day. Just changing things around a little bit for today, doing the Three Gorges or the China information my time in the morning, and it is Wednesday the 21st of December my time at the time of recording. I will see you later for some more stuff about China a little bit later today, or for some people tomorrow. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.